Hi everyone, Lisa here, and welcome to the Astrology Zodiac chat channel again. This video is dedicated to the Sagittarius of the early degree placements. So in your natal chart, take a look at any planets you have in Sagittarius at the degrees of 0, 1, or 2. And again, that introductory video that we did at the beginning, if you take a quick look through that, it's a short video just to gain a better understanding on these early degrees. There's plenty of sites out there, free sites, that you can create your own natal chart if you don't have one. And I'll pop a couple links in the description below so you have those too. So let's take a look first at some Sag traits that are normally stereotypical of the Sagittarius sign, and they can help us out as we go through these degrees. So people see Sag as adventurous or curious or always wanting to do something someone else is doing, or even if it's only for a moment, they're just dabbling everywhere, master of, what do they say, jack of all trades, master of none. They like to bounce from thing to the next. They have a need of mental and physical activity, and they're impulsive, and let's not forget stubborn, and some of those things there. So Sag can also be overly optimistic, so overly goal-oriented and risk-taking that, there'll be plenty of examples we can consider here. So let's first take a look at a person that might have early degrees of Sag in their Mars. So these early degrees, as I mentioned over and over in these videos for you to make it easy to understand, it's the toddler-like behavior that comes out. That unrefined childlike energy. So that warrior fire sign Mars is going to be attached to the fire sign Archer in Sag, okay? So how would a child fight? Likely without all its facts. Feeling victimized, impulsive, a foot stomp or two, the arms crossed in a defensive position. This is what you're going to see from Sag when those early degrees are present in their Mars. This double fiery warrior position that they have, right there in those early degrees. It'll likely soon be over, too. They'll yell and scream and kick and stomp and all that, but they won't dwell on the situation like a child, Perhaps they're very mad at a friend for a moment, and the next second they're running off to the next adventure together. So they don't often hold the grudge or dwell on it, but they will act erratically in time to time, Okay, let's move on to Venus in Sag at those early degrees. So a relationship with a Sag. It can be similar to the Mars, unfortunately. So when things are good, they'll move mountains for you. They'll work side by side on your big plans or your adventures. They'll help you in any way they can. And they'll even discover new ideas for you, with you, and everything should go smoothly until that disagreement. Sag in any form doesn't take orders well. So these early degrees bring back that childlike toddler behavior. So they're going to disagree with you just because it's your idea and not theirs. Their spirit in that fire sign will just fight tooth and nail. I can say this because I'm a Sag. But it will create even a duplicate project. If you tell them they can't do something, they're going to do it anyway and show you that it can be done while you're over here working on the actual project. It's just a time-wasting argument, but there's little compromise there. Is there an upside to their stubbornness? Maybe. Are you looking for a competitive edge or an out-of-the-box idea? It can create harmony through those challenges sometimes if you have the Sag placement here, because maybe they'll think a new idea or something, but they're not going to take orders very well. The emotional moon in Sag at the early degrees. Emotions are sometimes something Sages mask. You can see their exterior of a Sag. They will repress things for a long, long time, and then one day, a small incident just sends them right over the top. And people are like, what happened? It was just a pen or whatever, whatever the issue was. And it's that anger response of that repressed anger, that toddler-like child behavior comes out and says, all right. Out of nowhere, they explode and blow up over the simplest thing. So their emotions in that moon can be misdirected. It can be too much laughter, too. Sag may joke around when you're trying to be serious, or just too much sadness when it really doesn't cause for such a sad response. But they have that over emphasis of their emotions when they repress for so long. On a good note, that repression can hold its temper if you have a situation that calls for tact. Maybe if they find a healthy outlet for that anger before it emerges inappropriately. Because that moody difficultness that they have in this early degree placement can be repressed for quite some time. Okay, so Sun and Sag at the early degrees. So your Sun is like their life force, as we know. So the Sag can have too much energy, like that child, where they're jumping around from thing to thing, and you can't keep them calm, and you can't keep them busy, and adventure seems that it doesn't even settle them down. Again, they want to be that master of everything, dabbling here, dabbling there, until they never really do master it. This is going to be my next great opportunity or profession or something, and it just doesn't manifest because they lose interest too quickly. On a positive side, they might be a good elementary educator because the child's focus is focusing constantly and ever changing throughout the day, so their over enthusiasm and approach to this life of flexibility and changing environment, they can bounce back and have ideas and things like that with the children that it might be a good occupation for them. Uranus and Sagittarius at the early degrees, they have an impulsive, active tendency in Sag already that can contribute to that not looking before you leap mentality. And with Uranus being unexpected events and science and electricity, things like that can cause some caution for this placement. So be careful with home science experiments, or read the directions twice maybe before you try to do something, maybe 3 times for the Sag, because they don't tend to focus too well. When working with electricity or in wiring or anything like that, always look, double check, look before you leap. That spontaneous nature of Sag is wonderful in many ways, but that dangerous component of the unexpected event for Uranus can intensify this problem for them. So we covered a few planets there. I'd say Jupiter again would be our final one for Sag, and with that ruling energy of Jupiter and that expansive nature, they have these big dreams, whether again they're manifested or not. They have lofty goals, and they'll apply for a CEO position when they haven't worked at the company yet, or they'll want to purchase a $2 million business when their bank account has 15 cents in it. It's just that expansive energy for Sag. They have no boundaries, no limitations, because they believe they can accomplish anything, which again on a positive side would be good. If you wanted someone as a go-getter in a job and they're optimistic and they think they could do anything, they'd have that positive behavior. But chances are they might jump in before they're quite ready to handle that position. So I hope you enjoyed the Sag video. Check out the other ones. And again, thanks for watching. We appreciate you being here.